Welcome to another video. This is Growing Richer with Terrell. Today we're going to talk about something that it's always on my mind, and so we want to continue the conversation. Today is a money talk, and that's a tenet of what we do here at Growing Richer. So let's get into it. All right, since you're here, I want you to go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead. You know you want to. It really helps more people see the video. And subscribe if you're new here. All right. Growing in solvency, we're going to talk about the relationship with money. I'm concerned that there are people in the community that don't necessarily think long term and make their daily decisions in line with a long-term plan as far as their money is concerned. And so today, I just want us to think critically about it. And it's not just me who feels this way. I was actually on a podcast recently where somebody brought it up. Here's the clip.
But I think money is definitely a very sensitive topic that needs to be talked about in the church. That could stop growth if you don't talk about it and get a biblical worldview on it. So
with him saying that, it really made me reflect and say, man, I do need to make sure I do have another conversation about this, because it's just keeping the conversation flowing, making sure we're having the conversations in our homes, making sure we have a vision casted. And then every day we are making decisions and building habits that are in line with those long-term goals. Because what I really don't want for us and for our generation, and even for the people who are maybe even older, to get to the point where it's retirement time, or you are, get to that point and then it's like, dang, man, I should have thought about these things. And so this is just me making sure we're putting this back at the top of mind. We need to be thinking about long-term planning with our finances. And what I want to do is challenge you guys. And what I want you to think about, and I'm going to give you some examples of mine, but what long-term goal are you trying to get to? Retirement, owning a home. For me, it's retirement, retiring with dignity, and owning a home outright with no debt. That's my long-term goal. And so what I should be thinking about, and this is what I ask myself, and I want you to challenge yourself. What do you ask yourself when you're getting ready to make a purchase? Because one thing that really stunts us is just spending until the money is gone and not being purposeful about it. And so the question is, what do you ask yourself before you make a purchase? So what I ask myself is this in line with those long-term goals? And even before that, because at the top of the month I do a budget, so really the first question I ask is, did I budget for this? If the answer is no, then it's an easy decision. But if the answer is yes, I still think about it, because one thing is, like, if I have a grocery budget and I'm in the grocery store and I know it's early in the month, I probably won't be in there getting all the steaks and, lobster, crab, all that kind of stuff, because, it's early in the month, and so I need to, be thinking about it. But if I get late in the month, I realize I got a little bit left. We didn't, splurge a lot in the budget. Then I'm like, oh, I can spend a little bit more, I can have a delicacy, or at least what's to me a delicacy. So I think about, is it in the budget? And then nextly is, even as we're budgeting, we think about, what is this in our, is this in line with our long-term goals? And so we're thinking about, oh man, we want to go on a trip. And so if we're having a conversation about a trip, for instance, and we may have come into some extra money or something like that, we're like, oh, we can take a trip with this. But first we're like, well, we could do that, but it may stunt us a little bit when we're talking about okay, getting out of debt, or saving up for that down payment, or paying off something faster. So we just want to make sure we are. My main questions is it in the budget, and is it in line with my long-term goals? But I want to hear, like, what do you ask yourself? Do you ask yourself anything? Are you going to start asking yourself some questions and being purposeful? And so one thing that really helps us, and we decided to do this after we hit a certain target that we wanted to hit, but we started giving ourselves just fun money. And this just means we've budgeted a certain amount a week, and it doesn't even have to be a lot. Honestly, just if you're on a really strict budget and then you get to a point where you could say you get $10 a week just to spend however you want to, it really feels good. And it's not a lot. You're not breaking the bank, but it's oh man, I want a smoothie and I don't feel like clearing it with my wife. I got $10 that I know I can spend. I want a burger, $10 you can spend. And so it depends on what your budget is. You can do more, you can do less, but it just helps you to be able to, have some fun, but also be pushing towards that long-term vision. And so I really want, if you're watching this video, for you to consider, what is your long-term plan, and are you making decisions and building a relationship with money that helps you get to that point? So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Take care.